Last season, we survived relegation by the skin of our teeth in our first season in the Premier League. Now we need to try and see if we can sell and buy some players to make this season a little more comfortable, or we could end up getting relegated. Right, welcome to the season 11 review of our series with Aveley on our road to glory. As I said in the intro, we survived relegation by the skin of our teeth last season. If we have a look at last season's league table, we finished 17th, 1 point outside the relegation zone, 21 defeats from 38 games. It was a hard season. It was really, really hard. It wasn't particularly enjoyable. I have been having to think about the future of this series, and what I've decided is we will keep going in the hope that one day we win the Premier League, Champions League, become the best team in the country, all that sort of stuff. Or the more likely outcome is that we get relegated back down into the Championship. And what we'll do is once we get relegated back down into the Championship, I'll do a series of 5 years later, because I will resign at that point, because I don't think there's any point flip-flopping between divisions or anything. So what I will do then literally is just I will resign, I'll holiday on for 5 years, and I'll do a final episode saying 5 years in the future, this is where Aveley are, this is what they've had happen to them, blah, 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 blah. In the hope that the work we're putting in at the moment does stand them in some sort of good stead. But anyway, let's get on with this season's review. And let's have a look at the transfer history so far. So the back end of last season, we brought in our 3 youngsters. We are on the 3rd of July at the moment. We brought in our 3 youngsters. Craig Stewart is a right back. Got a value of up to 1.1 million, 2-star current ability, 3 to 4-star potential, 18 years old. He could do something for us, who knows. Daniel White from Manchester City, defensive midfielder. We're training him as a deep line playmaker. 1.5-star current ability with 4 to 5-star potential. Then we've also got another one that's 3.5 to 4.5-star potential, 2-star current ability, Lewis Price, who I'm training him to be a striker and as an advanced forward. And yeah, let's see what happens. So if we actually have a look at our dev centre, considering we're Aveley and where we are and where we were, we've actually got some really promising players in our dev centre. So I've been going through and putting people on the development list that if someone wants to play them as a regular starter in this position, then we're happy for them to go out on loan. And I think this season we need to try and give opportunities to some of these players as well. Maybe in some like Gunlager Johnson, see if maybe we can sell on, because he's probably not going to be to the standard we need him to be at. If we look at our squad, we've got quite a few elder statesmen at our squad, shall we say. And Jonathan Panzo, who's a new signing for us, 32-year-old Ivorian, to a value of 9 to 11 million pounds. We bought him in for 6.5 million. And he adds just a little bit more quality to our defence. Plays on the left side of a back two, can also play as a left back in the wing back position to a pretty decent standard, to be fair. I just thought he's a pretty reasonable player to bring in. He's only here on a 2-year contract. Some of these older players we will be looking at moving on, like Dara Costello and Bengui, Belongo, Captavia. I mean, he's 29, but yeah, we're looking at moving on quite a lot of these players. The way I'm sort of looking at it at the moment is if we have a look at the transfer history, that's what we've brought in. The only one that's really gone is Liam Miller for 92,000. Then for this season, again, nobody else has left, just Jonathan Panzo that comes in. I'm basically looking in this summer transfer window of moving players on before then bringing players in. If we look at our finances, we've got 30 million in the bank, but we're overspent on our wage budget. Now, I can extend that wage budget and reduce the transfer budget, but I want to move players out first before altering the transfer budget too much. But let's be honest, a wage budget of 609,000 is absolutely tiny for the Premier League. It really is. If we have a look at players that are in our scouting list, the A-star ones, we've got Adam Bartlett here, who's at AC Milan, 24-year-old English player. He's available for 2.7 million. We could play him in this position here as like a box-to-box midfielder. We don't really do Mazzala. He can be a striker, and he's actually got 16 for finishing, which is unreal for us, really. And he could play as an advanced forward. He's someone I'm very tempted to bring in, but he is also wanted by 11 other clubs. And if we have a look at that, then you've got, these are the clubs that are interested. No massive clubs in there, but there is rumoured interest as well from Crystal Palace, Salernitana and Sassuolo for transfers as well. So he's transfer listed by request. If we look at his history, he's not really done it. I think they've played him out wide more than anything else. We would definitely, he's been with Roma as well from being a kid. He's someone I've got my eye on. Let's just say that much. So I'm going to try and move players on. I'm going to try and bring players in as well. I will also show you our facilities. So I can't remember if I mentioned this in a previous episode, but we are currently having works done to our stadium. So we're reduced in our capacity at the moment. I believe we're going up to around 7,000 because we've got 1,125 seating capacity expansion. Completion date 7th of September. So I think we are going to be around the 7,000 mark once it's all said and done. But even that is just far too tiny for a club like ours. In terms of the club vision, it's attempt to avoid relegation. That's literally what we've got to do. I think this is going to be an incredibly difficult transfer window. I think it's been an incredibly difficult season. But let's see who we can sell and who we can bring in, and I'll bring you back again soon. Right, so it's game day. We'll get into our fixtures in a moment. It's not good news. But in terms of transfers in and transfers out, we look at transfers out first. Andrew Martin went to Swansea for 1 million. I'm not really sure why we sold him because he's 2-star current ability with 4 to 5 star potential, but it's something that previous me arranged, so not really much I could do about that. Adria Capdevila has gone to Oxford for 1.2 million and Brian Belongo has gone to Millwall for £64,000 and Benguay has gone to Wrexham on loan for the season. And if Wrexham survive relegation from the Championship, then there's a loan future fee of £550,000. Georgios Nikolopoulos has gone to Oxford City on loan, £275 a month. Graham Jones has gone to Boston United for £400 a month. And Darren McMullen has gone to Cork City on loan for free. In terms of the players in, Jonathan Panzo has come in, which we already knew about. Marouane Balouk for 3.2 million. He will be playing in this role for us as an advanced playmaker. We're going to have him probably as backup to Neil Lovell because he's one of our youngsters I want to try and get into the team and playing and whatever else. Again, that was a transfer that passed me done, so again I'm sticking with it. Adam Bartlett, the striker we looked at earlier on in the video, he's come in, pretty good pre-season, 7 appearances, 7 goals at a 7.61. 24-year-old English player, plenty of ability in him. Let's hope he actually lives up to that potential and that ability. Jordan Wiseman has come in as a goalkeeper, mainly because McNamara picked up an injury that's going to keep him out for 2 to 3 months. And I didn't really have confidence in Van den Brand for all that time. So we brought him in from Aston Villa. 2.5 star current, which is the same as Van den Brand. But he does have 4-star potential. Got some pretty decent attributes about him. If we look at his contract details, we have an optional future fee of 10 million. So if he works out, we can pay the 10 million and keep him. If not, then we don't. And he's here, for the season. So that's basically all we've actually done. If we look at our staffing, our coaching is basically the best in the league. Goalkeeper handling and whatever this one is, slightly lower. Tactical, there you go. But the rest of it is best in the league. Best in the league for set pieces, everything. Our scouting is rubbish. And our physio department, well, we're 5th for physios and we're about bottom half, just in the bottom half of the table for sports science. If we have a look at the schedule, these are our pre-season games. Have a look at those if you want. They are what they are. But here's our start to the season. Man United, Liverpool, Newcastle and Chelsea in our first 6 games. I mean, that is brutal. Let's be honest, that is brutal. Also Leicester, Aston Villa in that as well. We have got the comfort of a Carabao Cup second round game against Swindon at home, Swindon League One. So hopefully that could be a little pick-me-up after 2 defeats against Man United and Liverpool. Around the Christmas time, we have West Ham, Tottenham, Liverpool, Man United, Newcastle. I mean, that is brutal as well, isn't it? That's not going to be a very good Christmas and New Year for us. We'll obviously come back around this time, around FA Cup third round, which for some reason is on New Year's Eve. It's usually around here, so I'm not sure if that's going to get moved or what. But we'll come back on the day of the Liverpool game for the update on how the first part or the first half of the season has gone. And we end the season, our final 5 games: Bournemouth, Forest, Wolves, West Ham, Tottenham. So that's pretty much how we're looking. It's been a pretty quick part 1 because, like I say, there's not really been a great deal to show you. In terms of the club finances, we have 28 million in the bank. We have 18 million transfer budget. We have upped the wage budget because we was massively over that. So that we've now got about another £30,000 in the wage budget. Again, with all this transfer budget we've got as well, we can change that if we so wish. If we go and have a look at the season preview for the Premier League, I don't think this is going to look very good for us. Yeah, massively due to get relegated. And, Liverpool, Chelsea, Man United, Newcastle, Tottenham, all up here. This is going to be tough. This could be, season 11 could be the last season of the save. But who knows? We defied expectations last season. If we look at the team that's likely to go into the game against Liverpool or Man United, in the first game of the season, we have Wiseman in goal, and Nwosu, who's their new vice-captain now that Mbengue is left, Curtis as a right-back, Panzo and Bain in the middle. Bain is there because Joe Hobbs has picked up a bit of a little injury, he's out for a week. Jacob Devane is also out for another 1 to 4 days. We had to send him home. Pratt, Lovell and Mutengura in the midfield with Alessandra, Todd out wide and Bartlett up top. So that is how we're looking before the season starts. And I'll see you back here for the season 11 mid-season update. Welcome back. So before we get into the mid-season review part of this video, I just want to show you signings in and out that happened between the end of the last video and the transfer deadline day. So Ricardo Catarino went to Blackburn for £250,000. Gunlager Johnson went to Northampton on loan for no fee. And Matthew Ray went to Lewes on loan for a very nominal fee. The big news though is we brought in Andre Bedoya, Colombian playing for Junior, for 1.3 million. Look at him. Look at how good he is. Concentration, decisions, determinations, positioning, all in the red. 4-star current with 5-star potential. He looks quite the player. £31,500 a week. There is a minimum fee release clause of 15 million and a relegation release clause of 7.5 million. But for 1.3 million, I don't think you can argue with that. He has been really good. Looking into the transfer centre, Pat Bain could be on his way out to Barnsley. They've offered a contract for him and it does include a future fee after 10 matches played. They're going to be paying 10 to 20% of his wages, giving us a little bit of money each month as well. Plus, on top of the £2.3 million future fee, there's also an additional £2.3 million that would be paid in 2 instalments as well, taking our overall price if deal becomes permanent to £4.8 million. So for a player that we originally brought in for 2.2 that has only made 6 appearances, scoring 1 goal, I don't think that's a bad choice for him really. Sammy Ballinger is also looking like going on loan to Colchester. I don't know what it is about the likes of Colchester and Crystal Palace and things like that following me about, but I think the game might be getting me confused with bottoms up. But yeah, he's going out on loan. 70% of his wages are going to be covered. He's not paid much anyway. But what you're really here for is the mid-season review, and we're doing really rather well. As you can see up here, we are 8th in the Premier League. 8th. I mean, we got off to an amazing start beating Manchester United 2-1. I was stunned when we won that game. Adam Bartlett, our new striker, getting on the score sheet along with Pat Bain. But then we got beaten 4-0 by Liverpool. And at that point, I was like, okay, that's more like what I was expecting. Having the game against Swindon in the Carabao Cup was quite advantageous for us because that gives us another confidence boost, even though we only just beat them 3-2. We're 2-1 down with Bartlett in the 91st minute and Vankara in the 95th minute. We've been playing Vankara out wide on the left for some of the season. He has come in as a striker around this area because Bartlett picked up an injury that kept him out for a few months, which is just typical really. But then we played Newcastle, lost 3-1 against them, beat Port Vale on penalties. Now I have to show you this because we look at all these penalties. It was 16-17 on penalties. I mean, I've never seen anything like it in my life. At one point, I'm sitting there thinking the fans are going to go home in a minute, thinking they're going to be here all night. But we won it. We got through. I was hoping for a bit of a better or easier performance against Port Vale and Swindon than what we got. Then we had a 1-1 draw against Leicester, 2-2 draw against Aston Villa. Then we lost 2-1 to Chelsea. It was starting to look a little bit dire in terms of our league form. We'd had one win in 6 games, 1 win, 2 draws, 3 defeats, and it was just looking like being a complete mirror image of last season where it was such a struggle. But then we had almost a month off because of international friendlies, which helped with having Adam Bartlett out injured, and we come back in October. 4-3 win against... These are very nice fixtures to have because these are all teams in and around the relegation zone. But 4-3 win against Southampton, Vankara getting a couple, Nwosu and Gill. Then we had a 2-0 win against Stoke with Vankara and Mutangura getting on the score sheet. Then we played Everton in the Carabao Cup 4th round, beat them on penalties, more sensible, I think it was 5-4 on penalties that time. 1-1 after the 90 minutes, then went through on penalties. Then we played Everton again a few days later or a week later in the league and we beat them 2-1, an own goal and Alessandra getting on the score sheet there. Then we had basically here, we had nearly another month off. It was like 3 weeks off here in November, and at the start of it we lost disappointingly 2-0 to Sunderland before beating Burnley 2-1 and then drawing 1-1 with Arsenal. Now that sounds like a really impressive result, a 1-1 draw against Arsenal, but they're only 1 or 2 places above us. They've sacked Mikel Arteta and they've got Jack Wilshere now as their new manager. Then we got beaten very easily 4-0 by Manchester City. Then we played Bournemouth in the league and won 2-1, Vankara and Lovell getting on the score sheet there. Then we had a Carabao Cup quarter-final game against Wolves, won that 2-1, Ewan Todd and Joe Hobbs in the 97th minute. I really thought we was getting another penalty shootout. We now play West Ham in the semi-final. That's a winnable game, especially over 2 legs against West Ham. We could be on our road to Wembley for our first ever cup final. Then we beat Nottingham Forest 2-0, Vankara and Todd getting on the score sheet. A draw against Wolves in the league with Panzo getting goal of the month goal for us. Then we beat Brighton 2-1. Brighton are right up there as well. They're like challenging for Champions League places. Vankara and an own goal. Then we beat West Ham away from home, showing that we are definitely in with a chance of beating them in a Carabao Cup. We beat them 2-1. Adam Bartlett getting on the score sheet, I think for the first time since he came back from injury. He'd only been back a couple of games. And then Andres Bedoya getting his first goal for us. And then Adam Bartlett on the score sheet in a 1-1 draw against Liverpool. And we've just literally a couple of days ago in game lost 2-1 to Liverpool. And we started off quite ropey, started to find our feet. And I mean, this month here has been fantastic. This month here, December, has been amazing as well, to be fair. And we also have been drawn against Aston Villa in the FA Cup 3rd round. The winner of that 3rd round game, won't show us on here yet, but the winner of that 3rd round game between us and Aston Villa will play either Brentford or Manchester United away from home. It doesn't have the same scare factor, potentially playing Manchester United, as what it otherwise would do. If we have a look at the Premier League table in its entirety, there you see, we're in 8th position, 20 games played, 9 wins, 5 draws, 6 defeats, 29 goals scored, 32 goals conceded, -3 for our goal difference. And And there's Brighton. I mean, look at Leicester. Leicester are second in the league. Man City are absolutely running away with it. They've lost 2 games now. They must have lost them quite recently because they were unbeaten a little while ago. But they're 9 points clear of Leicester. But Arsenal 5th, Liverpool 6th, Newcastle 7th. Man United are down in 11th place with Chelsea in 12th. This is an absolutely insane season. It really is. Southampton, Bournemouth and Stoke looking, along with Burnley, looking like the potential 3 out of them 4 teams will go down. And what I'll also want to show you as well is our ground has been redone. We've now got our 6,125 capacity. And you can see here what our old capacity was with the reduction in size. And then this game here against Aston Villa, the 2-2 home game, was when we hit 6,125 at Parkside. And every home game thereafter has been 6,125. Even a Carabao Cup game against Everton, we hit a full house, and I'm really hoping if we carry on getting full houses for every game for the rest of the season, that the board does kind of look at it and think, okay, we need to build a bigger stadium. In terms of finances, we've got 28.8 million in the banks. That's not really gone down a great, just gone down about 5 million. We've still got 16 million in the transfer budget. They have increased my wage, but I did increase it myself anyway. But then they've increased it even further on top of that. We've got another £50,000 to spend. I'm not really planning on bringing anyone in for the January transfer window. I'm really happy with what we've got. But if anything pops up and we think, okay, that's something worth going for, then we will by all means keep a lookout for it. I am looking for younger players. If we look at our squad in actual fact, and this is obviously the first team we've got selected here, McNamara's in goal for this game. Otherwise, it would have been Wiseman, who's 23 years old. But McNamara's 30. But other than that, there is Vankara, 33. And occasionally Panzo will be in there as well, who's 33. But other than that, we've got some pretty young players in this team. And it's starting to actually take shape just the way I want it to be. If you look at this area over here, our determination column, I mean, look at the amount of reds we've got for determination. We need to work on other areas like leadership needs improving, teamwork and work rate needs improving, but we have a determined team. That's basically what this tells me. So yeah, going into the second half of the season, these are the games we've got left to play so far. We could have a Carabao Cup final, we could have more FA Cup games. I mean, in February, every game we're playing at the moment is on the telly. We're just getting so popular. One thing I did want to bring up as well, actually, is I was looking at the income side of it and looking at the prize money. And the Carabao Cup, bearing in mind we're in the semi-final, we've had no prize money for the Carabao Cup. Last season, we only got 25,000 in prize money. And bearing in mind, we got to the semi-final last season at the Carabao Cup, getting knocked out 4-2 on aggregate to Chelsea. So for getting to the semi-final, beating the semi-finalists, all you get is £25,000 in prize money. I really don't see the point in the Carabao Cup. If you need any more of an example of how pointless a competition the Carabao Cup is, that is all the evidence you need right there. Because if we're not making money out of it, or only making 25,000, there's no point. When it comes to our projections, by the way, we are projected to go down, but to still be in profit, which is really, really good. We're looking at making a £6.3 million profit this season, with future losses of 3 million and 5 million. Over more seasons, that will obviously take our overall balance further and further down. But if we can keep being successful, then we stand every chance of actually getting a decent amount of money. The club is classed as rich as well. We don't feature anybody on this column, as you could probably understand. But if we look at the goals, for example, we have got Vankara, who's joint 7th with 8 goals. If he played up front all the time, he may well have scored a few more and be more around this area. But yeah, that's pretty much all there is to bring you up to speed on. Medical centre's been a nightmare. We've had 33 injuries so far. I've played about 4 different players at left back at the moment. We're currently going with Junior Nwosu, who is our first choice, but he's obviously been away on African Nations duty as well. But Charlie Sayers has played there, Jonathan Panzo has played there, and if I can find him, Chidera Abassi has also played in the left-back position. So we've not really had much by way of consistency in the left-back position. These two apparently don't play particularly well. If that carries on, I do have the option of bringing Panzo in, and that takes away the dotted line. They don't have any familiarity. In terms of dynamics, team cohesion is really good. Club atmosphere is very good. Managerial support is excellent. Dara Costello wants to leave the club, but no one wants him. Igor Tejan wants to leave, but no one wants him. Pat Bain could well be going, and we're still waiting for someone to meet Vankara's £3.1 million asking price. So I'm now going to play through till the end of the season, and I'll bring you back then to see exactly where we finished and what we've achieved. So this is how the second half of the season looks like. And we have fallen off a bit in the second half of the season. We've not had as good a second half as we did first half. But we have finished 8th in the Premier Division. That is absolutely amazing. 38 games played, 17 wins, 10 draws, 11 defeats, a goal difference of +5 and 61 points, 30 points more than we achieved last season. We've only missed out on a European place by like 2 places and 7 points. You know, that's how close it's been. We've also only missed out on a European place by losing in the Carabao Cup final. We got to the final, we played Man United, we lost 2-0, we'll get to that in a moment. But yeah, this is what the league looks like. Brighton and Leicester, 2nd and 3rd, Leicester 2nd, Brighton 3rd, Tottenham 4th. That is a bizarre Premier League table, it really is. Liverpool and Arsenal, no champion. Oh, actually, yeah, Liverpool got the Champions League spot. Tottenham are in the Europa League when they finished 4th. Okay, I'm a little bit confused at that one. So Tottenham have finished 4th, which is a Champions League spot. Who's won the Champions League? Let's just have a look at... So I know this is meant to be our end of season review. So there's no English club in the final of the Champions League. Can we go back through? I want to have a look at the previous rounds. Come on, semi-final. Arsenal and Tottenham getting knocked out in the semi-final. So we had 2 English clubs get to the semi-final of the Champions League. But for some reason, there's only 4 teams qualified. I am very confused. Tottenham are in the Europa League for finishing 4th, but Liverpool are in the Champions League for finishing 5th. I don't know how that works out. What was the Europa League? Can we find out? There you go. Okay, so Liverpool beat Brighton in the final of the Europa League. So looking at it then, only 3 teams from the Premier League have qualified for the Champions League next season. That feels really weird. Then Liverpool have got through by winning the competition. Man United have got into Europe, even though they finished 10th in the league, by winning the Carabao Cup. Who won the FA Cup? Come on. Play ball with me. The English FA Cup. Liverpool won that. So Liverpool won the FA Cup and the Champions League. And they've got through to the champion. I don't understand. I really don't understand how Tottenham have not qualified. I don't care, to be honest, it's Tottenham. But Newcastle miss out on Europe by 1 point. Then obviously there's us. We're in 8th. Chelsea 9th. Man United 10th. I mean, this league is crazy. Liverpool, Arsenal, Chelsea, Man United missing out on the champion. Well, Liverpool have not missed out on Champions League football, but missing out on the top 4, I suppose is what I'm trying to say. But anyway, that's enough about that. Let's get back to the schedule. So the last time you were here in part 2 of this video was the 1-1 draw with Tottenham. We then went and lost 2-1 to Liverpool. We then beat Aston Villa 4-0 in the FA Cup 3rd round. We then beat Manchester United 4-2. This is what's so frustrating. We've had a really good season against Manchester United. Beat them 4-2 at Old Trafford in the Premier League. Then we lost 2-1 to Newcastle, followed by a Carabao Cup semi-final first leg 4-1 win against West Ham. We did then go to Old Trafford in the FA Cup fourth round and we drew 1-1. And then in the Carabao Cup second round, we lost 2-1 away to West Ham, but went through 5-2, was it on aggregate? 5-3 on aggregate. Then we lost to Aston Villa in the Premier League, 2-1. Then we beat Manchester United 3-2 in the FA Cup fourth round replay. Then we had a game against Chelsea where we won 2-1 in the league. We then lost to Leicester, which is no shame when you consider where they finished. Lost that 3-2. Then we beat Southampton 3-2. But then kind of came this really horrible run where we only won a couple of games in all of this and lost 4, drew 4. It was just a really poor run of form, and injuries really killed us around this time as well. At one point, we had a striker from our under-21s playing up front because both Bartlett and Van Kara were out injured. I just thought we might as well go with a promising youngster than Iger Tijon, who we just don't want at the club. So, yeah, we lost to Manchester United 2-0 in the Carabao Cup final. The team we went out there with, we did have McNamara in goal. I'd been playing him in the Carabao Cup and the FA Cup, so I thought we might as well keep faith with him. Curtis, Hobbs, Bedoya, Panzo, Bruce Pratt, Devaney, Lovell, Todd, Alessandra and Van Kara in that game. Alessandra had a terrible game, by the way. And yeah, I think it was kind of after that we just kind of started getting players out injured. And I'm not really sure where it was that... Here we go. So this game here, we had Lewis Price, who's our under-21, 19-year-old, 1.5 star current with 3 to 4 star potential. I just thought, might as well play him rather than Iger Tijon. And he scored for us. He was in the team. That's where he made his debut in a 1-0 win against Stoke. Didn't get on the score sheet, but then played him in this game, 7.5, got a goal. Absolutely wonderful. He didn't play after that because Adam Bartlett, as you can see, was back after that, so that was fine. So where were we anyway? I was starting to get ahead of myself here. Then we lost to Chelsea in the FA Cup fifth round, 3-2. Then we drew with Everton 1-1, drew 2-2 with Sunderland, drew 2-2 with Brighton, which that was actually a pretty good result in comparison. Then we beat Stoke 1-0, beat Burnley 3-0, again, 2 games we would be expected to win. Then a 2-1 defeat away to Arsenal and a 2-1 defeat at home against Manchester City. 0-0 draw against Bournemouth. Then we actually managed to pick up a few wins. Nottingham Forest won 1-0. Wolves away, we won 2-0. West Ham at home, we won 2-0. Nice few clean sheets. 4 clean sheets in a row, really. And then the last game of the season, a 3-3 draw against Tottenham. So we've already had a look at the Premier League table. We don't really need to look at that again. If we look at finances, we've got 37.6 million in the bank. Our budget for the new season is £44 million transfer budget with the same 795,000 wage budget. Again, we do need to try and move players on. Whether we can or not is up in the air because nobody wants to buy them. But if we actually look at the squad, I've got it filtered by age at the moment. Ryan Giles will be leaving. He's retiring at the end of the season. Panzo is here for another season. And Bengué will be leaving Wrexham, avoiding relegation in the Championship. So he's going to be joining Wrexham from next season. Dara Costello, we really need to get rid of. He's out on loan at the moment. If he's got another season with us at the moment. We just need him gone. McNamara will still be here. Charlie Sayers, I'm open to trying to get him out the door as well. Sam Curtis has had a really good season this season. We actually look at his stats. No goals, but 5 assists in the Premier League, 6.83. He's actually done pretty reasonably well. I've been quite happy with him as a right back. That being said, if we can find improvement, we will. But yeah, he's actually done reasonably well for us. Van der Brand will probably still stay as a backup goalkeeper. It all depends what happens with the guy we got on loan, Jordan Wiseman, because he's had a good season. 35 appearances, 51 conceded, 6.81 is a pretty reasonable average. We do have the option of a £10 million loan. I don't know if I want to buy him or if I just stick with McNamara. Yeah, like I say, not quite decided at the moment. Other than that, it's a case of like Iger Tijon, we want him gone. There's apparently, well, there's no interest in him, but he's transfer listed. We just need him out of the club. You know, if we can ask agent about market interest, he's going to say there is none. I can't see anyone making an interest right now. The intermediaries are not going to do anything. And, I mean, I'm going to put him on a transfer thing in the transfer room for free, transfer list him, offer him out. We just need him gone. We really do. Jacob Devaney, I think his time at the club has come to an end, which is a real shame considering how well he's played for us. You know, he's been with us, 6 years now? And he's been a mainstay for us, Jacob Devaney. He really has. And I fell in love with this player over the years. We got him on a free from Man United as a youngster. At the age of 26, I think he's probably reached his limit and needs to go. So, yeah, there's a lot of stuff we need to do ready for the new season. The likes of Christopher Shepherd, I think, needs to go as well. He's just not really cut out for it. 24 years old. He's another one of our youngsters. We might be able to get a little bit of money for him. And, yeah, same with Abassi. There's quite a few players here. We just need to have a real clear out and bring in some new young players. In terms of who we are bringing in, Chris McCausland is coming in from Motherwell for $12.5 million. He's a central midfielder that can play as an advanced playmaker. He's 3-star current ability with 3.5 to 4.5 star potential. He was actually listed on the Next Gen Wonder Kids list. He's not listed as a Wonder Kid here, but I'm going to take it that he is. And I just think he's an improvement on what we've got. He's 19 years old. He's young. He's got time to improve. He's a big lad as well. So we'll be seeing him when he comes in next season. In terms of me inbox, what we've got left in here, nothing else. So I think what we'll do now is we'll get to the actual end of season review and I'll see you there. Okay, end of season review time. No trophies for us this season, although very close for the Carabao Cup. So, new arrivals. Adam Bartlett came in for 2.7 million. 31 appearances, 15 goals, 2 assists. If he didn't get injured as much, he would have been our star signing because he done really well for us. You know, a goal contribution in every other game, basically. Jonathan Panzo came in from Auxerre for 6.5 million, 36 appearances, 3 goals, 4 assists at 6.89. He's been given our star signing. Marouane Balouk, 3.2 million from Breda, 18 appearances, 3 goals, 2 assists. He actually done pretty well when he was called upon. Can't complain about him at all. Jordan Wiseman, a £1.3 million loan fee, that is. Not really sure why he's appearing in the transfers in when he's a loan. 41 appearances, no goals, obviously no assists, 6.80. He was pretty good. You know, if we're looking for, he's about the same as McNamara. He's 7 years younger. Do we spend 10 million on him? That's a decision I need to make. Andres Bedoya, I mean, for me, he's been fantastic. He did win Young Player of the Month quite recently, a couple of months ago. 1.3 million, 47 appearances, only the 1 goal, 6.79. He is going to be a star for us in the future, I can tell. And then Daniel White in from Manchester City. Didn't play for us. He has been on the bench a few times, but didn't actually feature. In terms of transfers out, we're not going to worry about what the board thinks because they basically just go on how much money we get for them and what kind of deal financially it is for us. But Beach, Belonga, Capdevea, Caterino, Miller, McGrath, Holmes, Martin, all leaving the club. They've had relative degrees of success elsewhere. If we move into the season results, so 8th in the Premier League, fully filled our stadium, 100% filled, 5,969 was the average home attendance. That's been brought down because of when the capacity was reduced earlier in the season. But yeah, we're just filling that ground at every single game. A+ we got for that, finishing 8th. FA Cup, 5th round, B-, they're going to say that we're knocked out by Chelsea. And in the Carabao Cup, I mean, we had quite the run in the Carabao Cup. Swindon, Port Vale, Everton, Wolves, West Ham, and then Manchester United finally conquered us. Runners-up. It does mean we have that little thing where they put Carabao Cup and it says when you're the winners and the runners-up. We have a little runners-up in our column at least. We can console ourselves with that. Moments to remember. The biggest win was the English FA Cup, 4-0 against Aston Villa. Match to remember was the English Premier Division 2-1 win against Manchester United. Bartlett scored in both of those I'm seeing. And goal of the season was from Panzo, who won goal of the month for that as well. Scored in the 44th minute, 1-1 draw against Wolves. Looking at the finances, broadcast revenue is down. I don't really know how, but it is down. We've got 89.6 million compared to 96.8 million. Sponsorship is up by 5 million. Corporate and hospitality is up slightly. Competition prize money is up considerably from last season, and that will be because of where we finished in the league. Matchday commercial and retail is up slightly as well. No new sponsorship deals this year, even though our sponsorship has gone up by 5 million, so I'm not sure how that works out. It's saying their club reputation has stayed the same. I'm hoping we get a bit of a boost considering we finished 8th in the league. In terms of merchandise, Vankara, who we are looking at selling, has sold the most shirts for us, with Bartlett, Panzo, Ballock and Gill also getting in there. Them three there we've bought in this season, so good bit of business you might say. In terms of our first 11, Wiseman in goal, Panzo left back, Curtis right back, Hobbs and Bedoya in the centre of defence, Pratt, Mutangura and Devaney in the midfield, Vankara and Todd out wide with Bartlett up front. I wouldn't argue with that too much. And in Vankara, we have a player that's got a green rating. We are moving up in the world. Record breakers, most league appearances by a player. I mean, this will happen every year because he's currently here. He's now on 228 appearances. Highest transfer fee received, Adria Capdevella. I mean, that's pretty poor really, that 1.2 million is the highest transfer fee we've received as a club. Fastest goal, Adam Bartlett scoring a goal in 16 seconds. That's impressive. No manager of the months or manager of the years for me. Sad times. In terms of player awards, Thomas Vankara is the fans' player of the season. Stuart Gill is the young player of the season. Jonathan Panzo is the signing of the season. Goal of the season is Panzo as well. Vankara, top goal scorer with 21 goals. Most assists is Ewan Todd with 14. Ewan Todd had the most player of the match awards with 4. Vankara with the highest average rating of 7.1. And Bedoya with the most passes completed per 90 minutes. An ultimately successful season for Aveley started superbly and set them up perfectly for what was to follow. That's from Amelia Mann, Sky Sports News. I mean, we're getting the big boys now. Once Aveley got rolling early in the season, they never looked back, and that's Ricardo Fiorin from The Athletic. Manager timeline is what it is. We're not going to focus too much on that. We'll just have, that's our overall best 11 with McNamara in goal. Vaz, oh bless him, Edwino Vaz. Long retired Edwino. Never played for anyone after we let him go. Legend Edwino Vaz. And Bengui, Cook and Shepherd. Devaney, Kai and Benton. I mean, Nana Kai and John Benton. For those of you that have been here since the beginning, seeing the likes of Vaz, Kai, Benton, Rush. I mean, John Benton's long retired as well. Never played for anyone after us. Nana Kai, he's a scout now. He's a rubbish scout, but he's an unemployed scout. He retired. I mean, to be fair, he's only retired at the end of last season, so he's had a season of just lounging around on beaches waiting for someone to give him a call to be a scout. Should we bring him in? No, we can't. We can't be sentimental. That's the best 11. Where are they now? All that sort of stuff. Pause it and have a look at it if you wish to. That's the side of 2028. Where are they now? Where is Declan Cinnamon now? He's playing for Ayr United. So we sold him to Ayr United for £800,000. He's been decent for them, hasn't he? I bet he wishes he stayed with us, though, the fact that we're now a Premier League team. And I mean, to be fair, he's a 3-star ball-winning midfielder and whatever else. He could probably still do a job for us. But, yeah, we're not going to be bringing him back. And we've paid out 1.3 million to be shared among the squad and backroom staff on a pro-rata basis after finishing 8th in the Premier Division. One thing I do want to show you as well, talking about money, is I've been given a new contract. Now, my previous contract, I weren't actually aware of it, so I don't really pay much attention to my contract. I just sign it whenever they offer it to me. I was on £3,700 a week as a Premier League manager. I mean, that is terrible. That's like slave labour. Not anymore. We're on £35,000 a week. As a Premier League manager, I'm quite happy with that. If we have a look at our overview, when we signed a new contract, our career earning was £775,000 in 10 years. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm not claiming it's minimum wage, but for a football manager, that is terrible. We've now earned 1.2 million, and that's gone up in the space of a few months. We've bought 104 players, we sold 28. We've brought in 5.5 million to the club in the last 10, 11 years. We've spent 37.5. Highest transfer fee is 10 million on Joe Hobbs. Total fees paid to date, I've put £400,000 into the pockets of agents, which doesn't sit with me very well. We've had 1 league win, 5 promotions, no cups, no relegations. That's a good thing. And to be honest, that's what I'm quite surprised at the moment, is we've still not had any relegations. So yeah, that is pretty much all she wrote, folks. So thank you very much for watching the video. We will be back next Sunday at 2 p.m. for the season 12 review. Obviously, we're back with Bottoms Up tomorrow at 6 p.m. Leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel. We're so close to 100 subscribers. I'd love to get there. And I'll see you tomorrow for Bottoms Up and next weekend for season 12 review with Aveley. Thank you very much for watching. Bye.